Welcome and welcome back. It's another amazing day in paradise. Thank you still. Thank you again. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate your support, and I hope you're finding this content to be helpful and making your decision to write my name in as your preferred candidate for mayor of Raleigh. Yes, let's do it. This time, in this series called Visions of the Future, I'm going to talk about my vision of future for elementary aged to high school youth. It's a wide breadth, but the tagline I'm using for this one is, "You're great," just like Tony the Tiger. My desire for this age group is that they would grow into productive members of society by being engaged in various activities that feed their curiosity and prepare them for a future of their choosing, of their dreams, not somebody else's. And so I'm speaking of this not because I feel like there's something that can be done on a city level, to be totally honest with you. I'm speaking to this because I would use my platform as mayor to initiate a program that's called the Get Mad Crew. Get Mad is an acronym. It's spelled GETTMAD, and it stands for Gathering Elect Talent to Make a Difference. But it has another meaning because the name comes from a quote by Malcolm X that says something to the effect that when people are sad, they just cry over their condition. But when they get angry, they make change. And so I wanted to just state that there are a lot of our youth out here who are angry. That's the reason for crime. That's the reason for fighting. That's the reason for all the things that are going on. They're angry. They're hurt. They're coming up in dysfunctional households. And if you've heard me, my reason for running, already know I've talked about dysfunction. We all got it. We're not throwing any shade at them. And so in parent coaching, we talk about one of the ways, depending on the situation, that you can help a child navigate big emotions is by redirecting their attention. And so what I propose to do using my platform as mayor is to gather as many youth as I can between the ages of 8 and 18 to come together at events that are based on topics of their choice. So if people are interested in sports, if people are interested in technology, if people are interested in design, like all sorts of things. And we bring these youth together, preferably about age 8 to 18. Then what they would do is they would be put into groups with a facilitator that would allow them to come up with a design for a business that we would have here in Raleigh that would serve the purpose of the 8 to 18 age range, which some people would think is crazy, but I disagree. There are two businesses that I think of. One is called The Forge, and one is called the Esports Academy. Both of them are not in Raleigh, but it services those age groups. And so it's not impossible because these youth need places to go. And we don't have them. We just don't have them. And so whether they choose to do something where they find places such as the Esports Academy or the Forge, and they want to bring those into Raleigh or ask those business owners if they'd create a new facility in Raleigh along with whatever they're doing wherever they're at, then we would bring more family-friendly facilities for youth, especially, to be able to go to that are fueling their interest. So maybe we have a recording studio for youth. I would love to see a maker space for youth. In Durham Public Libraries, in two of their branches, at least two of the branches that I'm familiar with. I'm not sure if it's in all of them, to be honest with you, but they have this space called Express Yourself. Now they have private study rooms, and then they created this space called Express Yourself. And you can go in there and you can use it to record audio. So if you want to do a podcast, you can go in there and record a podcast. If you want to sew, you can go in there and sew. They have laminating machine. They have Cricut machines. I mean, if those of you don't know what a Cricut is, it's not a Cricut, Cricket. It's not like the animal cricket. I can't remember. It's like cry cut. I can't remember. It might be CRICUT, and I call it Cricket. But what it is it's a machine where that's what you use the vinyl rolls in, and it cuts out this. You can create the design on the computer, and then you print it out on the Cricut, and then you can press it on like a t-shirt. They also have it for hat and mug press and things of that nature. It's so cool. Oh my gosh. And you can use it for up to 2 hours every day. And so those are the kind of spaces that I would love to see for our youth, but we run them as businesses. And so the whole operation, what I endeavor to see is that throughout the city, we eventually have these little businesses that our youth created. And so I'll just say this, the first level of creating this is first having our youth come together. Then on top of that, we would invite young adults to come in. We have 5 colleges and universities here in the city. If we want these youth to stay here and find Raleigh available and livable for them, we want them to be involved. So I would encourage a layer of our youth between the ages of 18 and 30 to come in and get involved with one of the ideas. And they don't get to see who's doing the ideas. They just get to come in and, put in their flavor. Then the next thing I would do is invite parents to get involved, but preferably not in what their children are doing, because sometimes parents don't ever have the chance to flourish in something that they wanted to do, to be able to live the life of their dreams. So we want to get parents involved. Then on top of that, we want to get our elders involved because they have experiences that we don't tap into enough. Even though the times have changed so much since when they lived, they are phenomenal. They are brilliant. Like, they have the wisdom and the genius that we don't have, and we can relate to it. I remember reading this book, and I wish I could find out remember the name of it. But the thing that I remember about it is that it was about this community that wanted to put the elders away, like the older people. They wanted to put it away. And in this one family, they hid their grandparents. And whoever was in charge was throwing out these riddles to the community for whatever reason. I probably can Google it nowadays and look up what the book is. But I remember this one where the challenge was to get a drum to beat without tapping on it. Like, a person could not hit it with a drumstick. Get a drum to beat without tapping on it with a stick or your hand. And I remember them going to their elders to solve these riddles, and the answer to that one was to put bees inside, and the bees in their activity would bump into the sides of the drum and cause it to beat without touching its hands. And in the end, the moral of the story was about the genius of our elders, and I always remember that story. And so that would be another layer. And then the final layer we would do is business owners or entrepreneurs that could really add some flavor to how these businesses would work. So it would take, a year for all these groups to come together. But in the end, we would have a final project that's viable to be put into one of these empty spaces, empty retail spaces in our community, and I would work with our commercial business owners, the commercial property owners, to see if they would give 1 or 2 years for these projects so that we can create a viable community that's focused on families, where families can go, they can drop off their youth, know that they're going to be protected and cared for in those environments. And I would connect all those businesses in what I call the Love Life Cooperative. And we would have a division that's called Mom and Pop, and Mom and Pop would be the Uber of our facilities. So if a parent lives next to one of our facilities in District A and they have a child who wants to go to an event in District B and they don't have a way to get them there, they can drop them off at the facility that's closest to them, and that child can get a ride to one of the other facilities for an event that's going on. So they don't have to check them back and forth. And this is how we create community. This is how we make the city friendly for families and for children. And again, this is my vision of the future. It's not anything that can happen in the next year or anything like that, but I would use my platform as mayor to make that happen. And it would be membership based. And so we would give a sliding scale based on what people could afford. But I know this is something that could work, and it would be so awesome. And it would give our youth places to go, things to do that they enjoy doing. It would help them meet new people. And we would reduce the amount of idle activity that we call crime, because children aren't engaged in things that they want to do, but are often engaged in people in activities and events that people think they want to do. And so that's one of the things that I have as a vision of the future for our elementary school age children, and our high schools age students from the ages of 8 to 18. If this resonates with you, please consider writing my name in as your preferred candidate for the next mayor of Raleigh. Thank you.